on my young, there's some savages running your trap, at you up for them packages. Rob you for bricks, finesse you for pounds. Fuck all that talking, they laying you down. Gotta teach niggas about playing around. Cartel connected, you better respect it. Fuck up the papers and you to your maker, they laying.
What's up, guys? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Sports / Reacts. We have some more NFL draft grades. Today we're going to be doing the NFC, not the NFL, the NFC West. Hopefully I'll have another division out today. Then probably 3 tomorrow and 2 Monday, and then we'll be done with draft grades. Yesterday I did the AFC North. Today we're going to be doing the NFC West, as I just said. And I did not give anyone in the NFC West very high grades. So let's just get right into it. So we're going to be starting off with the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams did not have a first or second round pick. They traded a second round pick in E.J. Gaines in the preseason for Sammy Watkins. That resulted in a terrible trade. Watkins was not that good, and E.J. Gaines ended up being really good in Buffalo. E.J. Gaines is now of Cleveland, and Sammy Watkins is now of Kansas City. And they traded their first round pick away in the offseason for Brandon Cooks. So it's hard to get a good grade without a first or second round pick. I was a little generous. Joe Noteboom in the third round I thought was a little high, but he's still a solid player. I really like what the Rams did in the fifth round, though, with Micah Kisser, and I'm not sure if that's how you say it, and Okronwo, especially Okronwo. I thought Kaiser, I think that's probably how you say his name, should have been a late third, early fourth. And Okronwo I had as a late second, early third. I thought he was a very solid prospect. He's someone I wanted the Lions to get in round 2 or round 3. So I'm kind of upset we didn't get him, to be honest, or even round 4 as well. And I don't know if he was available when we made our round 5 pick, Tyrell Crosby. So I think that's a very good pick for them. Other than that, nothing too eventful. I'm giving them a B-. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers. I gave them a B-, but honestly, I think that's a little harsh. I think they more have deserved a B or B+, but I'm just going by what I put in my notes, so I don't really feel like changing it. Mike McGlinchey is not quite the 9th best player in the draft, but protecting Jimmy Garoppolo will be vital, especially with them trading Trent Brown away to New England, who was their only other tackle who had a chance to really have a future. They still have Joe Staley, but Joe Staley is getting up there, so I guess Mike McGlinchey might start at right tackle, or maybe Joe Staley and move to right tackle. I don't know, but I definitely expect McGlinchey to start day 1. Dante Pettis in round 2, that might be a little high, but I do like what he can do. He's very explosive, and he's a very good kick returner. He's a solid receiver. I didn't put him in my top 10, but I just forgot about him. Yet I put Auden Tate in there, who was one of the last picks in the draft, just because I forgot about Dante Pettis, honestly. I did the same thing with Frank Ragnow, of course, was our first-round pick. Kind of reminds me of a Tyreek Hill, but he probably won't be as good as Tyreek Hill with the explosiveness. Fred Warner is a solid pick. Marcel Aitman's a solid pick. Other than that, nothing of excitement, really, for the Niners. Pretty generic draft. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals, and I gave them a C+. I also think this was kind of harsh. They didn't give up that much, honestly, to trade up 5 picks for Josh Rosen. They just swapped a third for a 5th. And I think that's a great trade. I would give them an A or an A- if I thought Rosen was the guy. But I'm not that huge on Rosen. I don't think he's as big of a bust as Mayfield. Like, I think he'll be an okay quarterback. But I don't know. He has some personality stuff. Sort of like Darius Geis in a way. It didn't seem like his coach at UCLA, Jim Mora, it didn't really seem like he liked Josh Rosen, to be honest. I heard some reports during the season that Josh Rosen wasn't the most coachable. And then in the offseason, we heard some stuff from his coach, Mora. So I think that's a little suspicious that Josh Rosen may not be the most coachable. He isn't that great of a leader, and he doesn't have that high of a ceiling, which is also something. He is the best quarterback now. He is the most polished now. And I think there's a good chance he could start day 1. I know they have Sam Bradford, but I feel like they're going to start Rosen. Him and Sam Bradford, I would say, remind each other similarly, as I think Rosen will probably be a little bit better than Sam Bradford was. As Sam Bradford, you could consider him a bust, but he wasn't, like, that bad. I think Rosen will be okay, but I don't think Rosen will be great. I think the biggest thing is his ceiling. I don't think he's that high of a ceiling. So there are multiple red flags with him. But if you can mature him, then he can become a really good player. He has some tools now. Christian Kirk in round 2, I think that's a great pick. He was my number 1 receiver on the board at the time. So I think that is nice to get Rosen a nice target alongside Larry Fitzgerald, even though Larry Fitz isn't really old. Or, I mean, isn't really young. Larry Fitzgerald is old. And then Mason Cole, the center for Michigan in round 3, is pretty nice value. Last but not least, we have the Seattle Seahawks, and I don't really like the Seattle Seahawks draft that much. With the 27th pick, they took Rashad Penny, the running back from San Diego State. Now, Rashad Penny is not my number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9th ranked running back. And he's obviously not my number 1 because of Saquon Barkley. I had a player who went undrafted and Josh Allen's ahead of him. Maybe I was a little harsh, but Rashad Penny's not a first-round talent. I view him as more of a fourth-round talent. So I think this is not a good pick. It is somewhat of a position of need, but not really. Chris Carson, he showed some flashes last year. Thomas Rawls is okay. Eddie Lacy's just fat. Eddie Lacy's really not that good. But Chris Carson showed some flashes last year. And I think they have Mike Davis, too, from Central Florida, who's been in the league a couple years ago. And he hasn't been that bad himself. So I don't think this is a gigantic position of need. But I just don't think he's that good. It sounds like the Seahawks weren't the only ones who liked him, because it sounded like other teams tried to trade for him, but they said no. Rasheem Green in round 3, that makes sense because they're losing Michael Bennett, Cliff Avrill's regressing, and Frank Clark, who is young, but he is on a contract year, so that's a good pick, pretty good value. Jamarco Jones, in round 5, nice value at a huge position of need. I viewed him as a third-round prospect, and their offensive line is absolutely atrocious. So I think that is a very good pick. But the headline of this draft is Shaquem Griffin in the 5th round, the linebacker from the University of Central Florida. He is on the team as his twin brother, Shaquille Griffin, who was drafted in the 3rd round last year. And Shaquille Griffin actually had a pretty good rookie year. Shaquem is an extremely hard worker, and I think he can be really good. I think that's their best pick. I think he has a chance to be very solid. I know having one hand is a bit of a limitation, but he works harder than anyone, and I think there's a very good chance he could be a good player in the NFL. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like and subscribe. The next division will be in the AL. Not going to spoil it, and it's obviously not the AFC North. I think I said the next division in the AL. I meant AFC. The next division will be in the AFC, and won't be the AFC North because we already did that division. So hit the like button, subscribe, and I hope you all enjoyed yourselves.